On December 29, 1997, Mavericks coach Don Nelson orders rookie forward Bubba Wells to foul Dennis Rodman as soon as Chicago crosses midcourt, betting Rodman's 54% foul shooting stalls the Bulls. Wells racks up 6 infractions in just 2 minutes, then adds 2 more before the next dead ball, eclipsing the previous fastest disqualification by more than a minute. The scorer's table logs 2:43. Of floor time when the referee signals his 6th personal official review later rounds the span to a neat 3 minutes. Dallas spends the rest of the night chasing Michael Jordan's 29 points and ultimately loses 111-105, but Wells' cameo enters the record book before the first quarter ends. Rodman capitalizes, draining 9 of 12 attempts, a 75% clip that nullifies Nelson's gamble and swings the momentum back to Chicago. Because a player who fouls out cannot return, Nelson rotates through the bench, yet none matches Wells' sprint toward infamy. The NBA keeps the mark intact for nearly 3 decades, and Wells, who appears in only 39 total games, finds his name printed in every odd record roundup thereafter. He once jokes the record guarantees at least a trivia night cameo. Where Wells vanishes after 3 frantic minutes, the next anomaly features a center who refuses to miss a single shot all night. In February 1967, Wilt Chamberlain logs a game that defies efficiency norms. 18 made field goals without a single miss. It's not a fluke. 6 years later, now with the Lakers and at the tail end of his career, Chamberlain repeats the feat with a 15-for-15 performance. Both outings remain among the highest volume perfect shooting nights in NBA history. Chamberlain's dominance isn't limited to size and strength, it's also about control. During an era when shooting efficiency hovers around 43% league-wide, Wilt's stat lines stand as anomalies that stretch across decades. The record holds through generational shifts in play style. In 2023, Washington Wizards center Thomas Bryant becomes the latest to flirt with perfection, going 14 of -14 from the floor in just 33 minutes. But despite the NBA's rising offensive pace and better spacing, no player has ever hit 20 field goals without a miss in a single game. Shot volume and fatigue conspire to make it nearly impossible. The elusive 20-for-20 game remains the final frontier in single game efficiency, and no one's cracked it yet. On January 17, 1994, the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Miami Heat and manage just 3 assists across all 48 minutes. That number isn't just low, it's the fewest assists ever recorded by a team in the shot clock era. The Cavaliers shoot 27 of 82 from the field, a dismal 32.9%, and finish the night with 70 total points. But it's the passing, or lack thereof, that cements the game in history. With no assists recorded in the first quarter and only one by halftime, Cleveland's offense devolves into pure isolation sets and broken possessions. The league average for assists that season is 20.5 per game, nearly 7 times higher than Cleveland's mark that night. By comparison, even bottom-tier offenses like the 1994 Mavericks still average over 16 dimes a game. Cleveland's output reflects more than poor shooting. It points to a breakdown in team rhythm, spacing, and offensive execution. Head coach Mike Fratello, known for his grinded-out pace, oversees a team that ranks last in pace and near the bottom in scoring. They fall 83-70 to Miami in a game where not a single Cavalier player reaches 20 points. This statistical outlier stands unmatched 3 decades later, even in an era full of defensive dominance and low scores. It remains a vivid example of how disjointed play can grind a professional offense to a halt. The next record? It flips the narrative. One man hits every single shot he takes. Rasheed Wallace sets an NBA record in the 2001 season with 41 technical fouls, more than any other player in a single year. League policy at the time mandates a one-game suspension after every milestone tech, starting at the 7th, then the 10th, and continuing at regular 3-foul intervals. Wallace ends up serving multiple suspensions, not for fighting or flagrant acts, but for arguing calls, tossing headbands, and sarcastic clapping. His reputation becomes so ingrained that officials begin issuing techs. Preemptively, a move the league later walks back under scrutiny. His nickname Roscoe rarely appears in box scores, but his foul count always does. The league tightens its whistle policy in the following years, especially after Wallace's incidents fuel player-referee tension during the early 2000s. The fines and ejections don't stop him from anchoring Detroit's defense during their 2004 title run, but they do leave behind a statistical shadow. Wallace retires with 317 career technical fouls, second only to Karl Malone. But no one else ever forces the league to suspend a player 7 separate times in one season just for talking. The next beat belongs to a stat line built on silence, Tony Snell's rare zero across every category. In March 2001, Jason Kidd becomes the first player in NBA history to record a triple-double that includes turnovers, 10 points, 10 assists, and 10 turnovers against the Knicks. His team, the Phoenix Suns, still manage a 105-93 win, but Kidd's unusual stat line sparks conversations about how the league tracks mistakes alongside production. Turnovers have been officially recorded since 1977. Yet no one before Kidd had ever logged double digits in points, assists, and giveaways in a single game. His passing brilliance often walked a fine line with risky decisions, and on this night, the gamble costs him control 10 times. Since Kidd's anomaly, the triple-double turnover club has slowly grown. James Harden reaches it 4 separate times between 2016 and 2021, more than anyone else. His volume-heavy role with Houston demands high usage, and with it, a predictable spike in errors. Russell Westbrook joins the group in 2017 during his MVP season, when he posts 10 turnovers alongside 27 points and 14 assists in a win over the Sixers. As of 2024, only 15 games in NBA history include this particular stat line, making it one of the rarest if least desirable triples on record. Not all history makers do it on purpose. On February 24, 2017, Tony Snell logs 28 minutes for the Milwaukee Bucks in a win over the Utah Jazz. In that time, he finishes with 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks. No free throws attempted, no turnovers committed. It's the statistical equivalent of running in place in NBA, player active for more than half the game without registering a single box score impact. Snell becomes just the second starter in league history to post a 28-minute quintuple zero, joining Joel Anthony's infamous 2011 line. 4 years later, Snell does it again, this time playing 27 minutes for the Atlanta Hawks. Once again, he walks away with a clean slate, no entries in any major stat column. Online, fans crown him the Cardio King, a moniker that sticks. Analysts note that Snell still plays disciplined defense, stays in position, and spaces the floor, but the box score void becomes a viral oddity. In a league obsessed with metrics, his statless minutes spark memes and debates alike. And yet, Snell's odd record highlights a truth about NBA tracking. Not all impact shows up in numbers. On November 12, 2010, Kevin Love becomes the first player in nearly 3 decades to record a 30-30 game, 31 points and 31 rebounds in a single outing. The Timberwolves trail the Knicks by 21 points in the third quarter, and Love, a 6'8" power forward known more for outlet passes than interior domination, initiates the comeback. He grabs 12 offensive boards, converting second-chance points at a rate the Knicks can't counter. By the final buzzer, Minnesota stuns New York 112-103, and Love finishes with the first 30-30 game since Moses Malone in 1982. The performance marks just the 11 30-30 stat line in league history. Love, averaging just 14.6 rebounds entering the game, more than doubles his season average on the glass. Coaches and analysts cite the Knicks' lack of interior size. Amara Stoudemire, their starting center, grabs just 4 rebounds as a decisive factor. The outlier game launches Love into national headlines, shifting his perception from solid contributor to elite rebounder. He later credits a post-practice routine of grabbing tipped balls off the rim. The sheer rarity of the feat and the 28-year gap since the last underscores its place among the NBA's strangest benchmarks. Only one other player this century has come close to matching it, but no one has replicated it. The stat line scarcity stems from modern pace, spacing, and shared rebounding duties, making it one of basketball's oddest relics. In the 2015-16 season, the Philadelphia 76ers post a 10-72 record, just one win above the all-time worst mark set by the 1973 Sixers. Their average margin of defeat is 10.2 points per game, and they finish dead last in both offensive and defensive efficiency. On most nights, the team fields a starting lineup with no player older than 24 and no scorer above 15 points per game. Philadelphia ranks 30th in attendance, and TV ratings dip to historic lows. Yet, none of it happens by accident. Beginning in 2013, General Manager Sam Hinkie adopts a deliberate teardown strategy he brands the process, a multi-year blueprint designed to maximize draft lottery odds. The front office stockpiles second-round picks, trades away usable veterans for future assets, and leans into developmental losses. The roster cycles through dozens of fringe players while fans chant, "Trust the process," as a kind of protest mantra. Between March 2015 and January 2016, the Sixers lose 26 straight games, the longest single-season losing streak in NBA history. Joel Embiid is drafted in 2014, sits 2 full seasons with injury, and finally debuts in 2016. Ben Simmons arrives as the first overall pick in 2016, but also misses his rookie year. With both cornerstones sidelined, Hinkie resigns under league pressure and public skepticism. Still, the model works. By 2018, the Sixers win 52 games and return to the playoffs. The losing stretch ends, but the ripple effects of the process shape the draft, team-building ethics, and tanking rules for years to come. David Robinson enters the final game of the 1993-94 regular season trailing Shaquille O'Neal by 33 points in the scoring title race. The Spurs know it, and more importantly, they plan for it. On April 24, 1994, against the Clippers, Robinson takes 41 shots, makes 26 of them, and shoots 8 for 25 from the line without attempting a single three-pointer. His 71-point performance clinches the scoring title at 29.8 points per game, just ahead of Shaq's 29.3. The Spurs win 112-97, but the game turns into a stat push as teammates feed Robinson relentlessly. Head coach John Lucas keeps him in the entire fourth quarter with the game already in hand. In the modern era, since the introduction of the three-point line in 1979, no player has scored more in a game without a three. Because every point comes inside the arc or at the line, it remains one of the most ground-bound 70-point outings in league history. This would be unthinkable in today's pace and space league. The next highest post-three-line total belongs to Karl Malone, who scores 61 in 1990 without a three. But Robinson's 71 still stands as a benchmark for pure two-point volume. It closes one of the NBA's last pre-modern scoring race and sets up a radically different approach to offense the following year, when the league shortens the three-point line to 22 feet. Carmelo Anthony records the highest scoring game of his career on January 24, 2014, lighting up Madison Square Garden with 62 points. He shoots 23 of 35 from the field, including 6 of 11 from beyond the arc, and plays just 39 minutes. What makes the performance statistically bizarre is that he does it without attempting a single free throw. Not one trip to the line, despite taking 35 shots and controlling the game for nearly 3 quarters. The Knicks blow out the Charlotte Bobcats 125-96, so Anthony sits the entire fourth quarter. His true shooting percentage for the night, 74.2%, ranks among the most efficient in NBA history for any 60-point scorer. No player has ever scored more points without a free throw, and only a few have even topped 50 in such fashion. The performance breaks the franchise scoring record previously held by Bernard King and remains a statistical outlier in the modern era. It's one of the clearest cases where volume and efficiency collide without any help from foul calls. And it leads directly to the league's next milestone in scoring oddities. If you made it this far, you're one of the real ones. At BBall Decoded, we don't sugarcoat the past. We break it down, team by team, draft by draft, mistake by mistake. If you love deep NBA stories, critical breakdowns, and raw basketball truth, hit that like button, subscribe for more team deep dives, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next.